Hello Health Buddies, your host Ravneet Bhala welcomes you back to her channel. Do you often struggle with baking cookies at home? Do you want to learn how to make healthy cookie recipes without baking powder and soda? Let us get started with moong dal cookie recipe that is gluten free. Now this is half cup of moong dal or split yellow lentils, and we'll be grinding this to powder. And this is the variety that I get in Odisha, but you can take any variety because I have made these moong dal digestives with the packed lentils that we get in Delhi. So you can take either. This is slightly roasted, but you can take the unroasted one as well. So we'll be grinding this to powder. Okay, so we have ground it. Let's check. It may not be a very fine powder of moong dal, but that's okay because we will be sifting it. So let's measure it. How much have we got? So this is almost the same amount that we have ground. So it makes half cup of, little more than half cup of moong dal, of whole moong dal or yellow lentils. We'll also be using oats in this recipe, and this is 1/4 cup of oats, 1/4 cup of oats, but we'll see how much do we need. And this is 1/3 cup of jaggery powder. So this is 1 tablespoon of solid ghee that I have refrigerated. Okay, so I'll be taking 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of solid ghee, 2 pinches of salt. And this is sifted jaggery powder, and always remember to use sifted powder. Whatever dry ingredients go into the recipe must be sifted before using. So this is 1/4 cup plus 1 tablespoon of jaggery powder. You can take more because I make it slightly sweet. I like it subtly sweet, so I keep the jaggery powder or sweetener to a minimum, but you can add up to 1/4 cup plus 2 or 3 tablespoon of jaggery powder, and don't forget to sift the powder before using, as you have always seen me doing in all of my recipes. And this is the next step. This is the creaming stage, and creaming is important to make cookies crispy without baking powder and soda. And since we make cookies without baking powder and soda, so this process, this step is critically important, so don't miss it. It is slightly time consuming, but you will love it. You will love the end result, I should say. And if you don't want to use olive oil, I use extra virgin olive oil. If you don't want to use olive oil, you can substitute it with 2 tablespoons extra of ghee. Or if you don't want to use ghee and wish to make it completely vegan cookie recipe, then you can go the other way around and choose 2 tablespoons extra of olive oil and bake the cookies and follow the same process. Though with olive oil alone, you won't get this kind of consistency, but that's okay. I have made cookies previously with the olive oil and chickpea flour, and they gave me excellent results. Okay, so this is how our creaming mix looks like at this stage. It is completely incorporated into the fat. And yes, you can use butter at this butter for this recipe. If you don't want to use ghee or olive oil or a mix of both, you can use butter instead. And if you don't want to use any of these, you can use coconut oil as well. So choose whatever fat you want, but you need to whip it. Okay, so this is what we have got, and now the next step is to add 1 tablespoon of milk to it. And if you're making it vegan, then you can add 1 tablespoon of water. So let's start whipping it again. And you can use a machine to whip it. You can use a hand mixer or a whipping machine for this process, but I love to use this whip of mine, and it works perfect. Right, so this is how our creamed mix looks like. At this stage, if you want, you can freeze it for 10 minutes so that we can get a better consistency, but I will not do it this time, and we'll be making cookies without freezing this. We'll need a sifter to sift the flours now. Okay, so as usual, I'll be adding my oats flour first. This is 1/4 cup of oatmeal. It's just powdered oats. And you can use rolled oats as well. But I prefer instant oats that are unsweetened and only steamed. And they give me the best results. They are easier to absorb than rolled oats. Though rolled oats have more fiber than instant oats. But always choose instant oats that are unsweetened. Don't go for sweetened oats. Now the idea behind sifting is to aerate the flour. Now that we have done it, I'll be adding this fiber as well. We need that too. We'll not be removing it. As always, I'll be adding it. And the next step is to mix it. And I mix with a spoon. You can use a spatula for this. Okay, so it looks very runny at this stage. We might need more of it, but we'll see whether we need or not. I'll show you, I'll measure this moong dal atta as well so that you can get a perfect estimate, accurate estimate of how much has gone in here. Okay, so this makes 1/2 cup plus 1 tablespoon, right? Okay, so we'll be sifting it. And since I have already made these cookies on 2 previous occasions, these taste like moong dal halwa. So do try out this. I often call these moong dal digestives because I combine these with oats, so they give me the best of both worlds. They are rich in fiber and protein. We'll not be using this because these are grits and they will not bake properly. We'll be removing it. We can grind them afterwards and use in another recipe. Okay, so we'll be adding in batches as I always do. But since this is very loose, I know more we'll need more of moong dal here, so I'm adding it at this stage. Okay, just remove the grits. We don't want these. Unlike oats, which are very soft, we can use that, but we can't use the moong dal grits. Okay, so look at this consistency. It's very loose, too loose. And if you want to make this chocolatey, you can add 1 to 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder as well. However, if you add cocoa powder, then you will need to increase the amount of jaggery powder or sweetener, since cocoa powder is slightly bitter in taste, and always choose 100% cocoa. Okay, so we'll see how much goes in. Continue to use the flours in batches to reach the right consistency, and I think we'll need all of the moong dal flour that we have made. It's very loose again, so we'll be adding all of the 1/2 cup plus 1 tablespoon. It was, I guess, it was 1/2 cup of moong dal that we ground to powder. And if you have got the market bought or the store bought moong dal flour, then you will need only 1/2 cup of it, since you will not be getting these grits in the store bought flour. So just remove this and take 1/2 cup of moong dal flour only. If you want, you can grind this to powder again at this stage and add to this mix, because it still looks loose to me, but I'll check with hands whether we need more of it, more of the flour. Yes, we will need, it's very loose, so we'll need more flour here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind this to powder again. We are grinding to powder the grits. Okay, so we are back. So this is our powder. We'll be sifting it again and using in the recipe. We are still left with a very minor or minute grits, I should say, but we'll not be using these grits again, otherwise they'll spoil the taste of these cookies, right? So now I think we'll get the right consistency, and remember not to knead the dough. Just make sure everything is incorporated, but you don't have to knead it. As I always say in my cookie recipes or cookie videos, that you never have to knead cookie dough. Otherwise, kneading, why do you knead? You need dough to make chapatis, right? And we are not making chapatis here. Chapatis have got to be chewy. Cookies don't have to be chewy. I don't like chewy cookies. Do you? Please do write to me in comments. If you like chewy cookies, then you can use dates as a sweetener as well. I don't use dates here because they'll make cookies chewy. So just the idea is to combine the dough. Okay, it looks perfect to me. Okay, so now on your rolling board, now you'll be rolling it out. It's very crumbly since it's a gluten-free dough. It's very crumbly, but don't worry, I'll show you how to make perfect cookies with it. It's dry and crumbly, but it's okay. We'll still be making cookies with it. If you want, you can add a few drops of milk at this stage, but don't be tempted to add more, otherwise your cookies will turn out chewy. Typically our dough is very loose, but this dough, moong dal, seems to have consumed a lot of fat and liquid in this. Just follow how I am doing and you should be able to get the right cookies. And at this stage, please preheat your oven, air fry, convection, OTG to 160 degrees for 10 minutes and air fry for 5 minutes. And now make shapes. And now this is how I pick my gluten-free cookie. Look. So this is perfect. Okay. Place it on your cookie sheet, cookie rack, and since I am making my cookies in air fryer, so I'm placing it in my air fryer basket. And many people ask me whether an air fryer is a good investment, whether air fryer is healthy for baking and cooking. Well, I do all my baking in an air fryer and it is the best investment you can do. There is no risk of radiation in an air fryer since it uses only hot air, and the hot air, as the hot air circulates in the machine, it bakes. So like this you can make all these shapes. And now after this amount of cookies, I'm left with another more of crumbling dough. Just crumble it again and then press it with your hands. Pressing will slightly tighten it and it will be easier to roll. Don't use force ever when making cookies. You have got to be very gentle with this. And don't keep your cookies very thick since we don't use baking powder and soda for our cookies, so we need to keep these thin, but not too thin that they burn out in the oven. And another important point that I wanted to share with you was to keep a distance between your cookies. So just make sure that there is some gap between each cookie. This ensures even heating from all sides, so air will circulate upside down and along the sides as well. So this is important point. Whether you're baking in an oven, air fry, convection or OTG, you need to keep a distance between each cookie while baking. So I'll finish this off and we'll see. This is how you should place your cookies on the cookie tray or baking sheet or baking rack. Now they are ready for baking and we'll be baking these at 160 degrees for first 10 minutes and I'll check after 10 minutes if they are done. If they are not done, then we'll be baking for 2 to 3 minutes longer. But timing might vary from one machine to another. It varies from between two air fryers as well. So just keep an eye on your cookies after 8 minutes, whether you're baking in Prestige air fryer or Philips air fryer. And Philips air fryer tends to bake very quickly. So this is a preheated air fryer and I've just spread a few pumpkin seeds inside for roasting. They will continue to roast and we'll be baking these at 160 degrees for first 10 minutes. And I'll check after 10 minutes whether they are done. So let us check our cookies. Yes, they look done. We'll remove these. Okay, so we will allow these to cool down. They still feel slightly softer from here. So we'll let these cool down properly. Then I'll show you how crispy these are and they are smelling good. Now you will say, how do you know whether the cookies are done or not? See, they look slightly golden from the sides. They look golden from the top as well. But first, the sides will turn into golden. So this is when you can turn off your appliance and stop baking. If they feel very soft from the center, you can bake for 1 to 2 minutes longer. Otherwise, you are done. Okay, so I just wanted to do a taste test of these cookies. Please, I'll show you how these taste. I have a habit of eating my cookies with tea, and I'm having it without tea at this moment, but it is good. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. If you do, please try it out at least once and share your feedback in comments.